So thank God we're in an all-night restaurant, or we just haven't left, and the owner's gone home, and when everybody else is still here, so it must be an all-night restaurant.
Eating our soup.
We're at a diner apparently, and probably a Greek diner because all good diners are Greek, and have a variety of great foods. And how do they do all those different foods at a minute's notice? I don't know. I don't care. As long as they do it, it's fine.
Yes.
So it's been 14 and a half hours since we finished up last night at 10 o'clock, and I remember something about a 16-hour time period. So we're almost to that 16-hour time period. But before we get to that, you did remind me, thankfully, something about 20 minutes. And I've heard and I've read that you don't feel full generally until about 15, 20 minutes after you've finished eating. That somehow or other there's this lag time.
Yeah. Supposedly,
clarify that for me.
Supposedly, the signal from your stomach comes actually from the intestines that you're full. So the food goes in your stomach. It doesn't just go right into the intestine. It takes a little time. The Okinawans actually practice eating till 80% full. So in other words, when you stop eating, that's my third rule, you should stop eating at a point that you can still eat more because exactly that. In other words, you can always eat more. But you'll find that 20 minutes later, all of a sudden you feel like, I feel satisfied.
Yeah.
Because it's a delay, and that's why, by the way, eating slow and mindful makes also sense, because if you take 30, 40 minutes to eat, well, guess what? From the first bite, all of a sudden you're going to stop feeling satisfied. Unfortunately, because at work, most people have a 10-minute break,
right.
And you have to wolf the food down.
Exactly.
They're not paying attention how they feel. And I think that when we're eating, we need to relax.
Yes.
Eat slow and mindful, and don't feel you need to stuff yourself, because after 20 minutes you're going to feel even more satisfied than you were when you stopped eating.
The 16 hours aren't up, so convince me that I shouldn't take another spoon of this delicious Greek yogurt. Convince me why I shouldn't. It's been 14 and a half hours. Why should I wait 16 hours?
Because I said so. Just kidding.
Okay, that's good
And
reason.
by the way, Okinawans are the longest living population.
The longest
too.
living population.
Yeah.
Now,
a lot of 100-year-olds, a lot of centenarians.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
As far as 16 hours to 20, okay, it takes, what they found is prolonged periods without food, okay, is your body becomes more efficient at using fat as a main source of energy. The hormone leptin, which is the hormone that tells your brain that you're full, okay, the brain becomes more sensitive to the hormone. And a lot of people say to me that, they're hungry all the time. Yeah, because what happens to a lot of people, because we're eating without being hungry, every time you eat, the body releases the hormone, okay? What happens when your body constantly releasing insulin, right? The body becomes resistant to insulin. Mm-hmm. Well, the body also becomes resistant to leptin, and that is why you never get satisfied, because your brain does not register the hormone. 16 to 20 hours prolonged breaks between feedings makes your brain more sensitive and to insulin and to leptin. So it's actually also good for diabetes, to prevent diabetes, actually.
Yeah.
So you become more sensitive to it, and therefore you recognize it. Your body recognizes
you get satisfied better,
right?
Okay.
And easier. And you get satisfied by registering the hormone. Your body gets satisfied much easier, and you satisfy your hunger, actually, so you don't feel like you need to eat. Because if your body cannot recognize the hormone, or it becomes resistant to it, you're never satisfied, which means you constantly have this need to eat.
No, it's true. And a lot of these feeding programs, diet programs out there say, you have to have your 5 meals and 3 meals a day with snacks in between. So they make people think they have to eat to lose weight.
Yeah.
You have to
eat
eat
to get the metabolic rate going.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the only reason the metabolic rate goes up with eating is the thermic effect of food. You eat food, like you put more wood in the fire, it's going to burn harder.
Right, right.
No. But it's still not going to burn the calories you just ate. In other words, let's say you ate 500 calories, right?
Right.
Okay, you increase your metabolic rate, you burn an extra 100 calories. You still have a surplus.
Wow.
So to me, the one thing people don't realize is that once you've learned those 3 habits, you can. I personally don't teach people to only eat once a day or twice a day or 3 times a day, because it all depends on what you're eating will determine how long you need to wait. So, for instance, let's say you had a piece of celery, okay, with nothing on it. Well, the celery is not going to hold you that much because it doesn't have any calories. So maybe 3 hours later, you might eat again another stick of celery. So you might end up eating 4 times because you're eating celery sticks.
Right.
On the other hand, if you have a pizza, which has a lot more calories, well, you're not going to get hungry again for 8-9 hours. So that's why I don't want to get too much into, how often you should be eating.
Right.
But what I would tell you is make sure you're hungry before you eat.
Exactly.
And also there is a great benefit of prolonged period without food, actually. The 16 hours.
Right.
Because if you look at every healthy culture, on
Right.
average they eat once or twice a day.
It's true.
And as a matter of fact, the 3 meal a day idea, you know how long has that been around? Maybe 100, 200 years?
So it's
Right.
relatively new in the grand scheme
Yeah.
of things.
How long have humans been around? A lot longer than that.
Long time, yeah.
Up to
Tens of
now,
thousands of years.
up to like recently, a couple hundred years ago, people used to eat 1 meal a day.
Yeah.
Maybe 2. If you look at cultures today, untouched by the West, on average, they eat 1 meal a day. Now, you could argue, oh yeah, but these people have a much shorter lifespan. Yeah, they might be dying from diseases, from other diseases.
Yeah.
But if you look at the Western diseases, they don't have any of them.
Right.
Why? And to me, the ideal thing is, with Western medicine and eating the way by listening to your body, we can have a very long, healthy life. But the problem is that food has become a drug. We're eating without being hungry, because here's another bottom line question. What is the true purpose of eating? Okay? To nourish the body.
Right.
Can anybody argue against that? Right? What's the
Right.
purpose of eating? Now,
Right.
how does the body tells you it needs nourishment? Through hunger.
Right.
I don't think anybody can argue against that. When was the last time you read of a diet that tells you make sure you're hungry before you eat?
No.
Never.
Never.
Because the bottom line is, every food group, because if you look at the industry, I've been in the industry for over 22 years now, every food group have their advocates. Okay?
Right.
You have the meat industry that pushes the meat. You have the dairy industry that pushes dairy, milk and yogurt, Greek yogurt.
Right.
Okay? And then you have the vegetarian, the vegetable industry. So everything. But who advocates eat only when they're hungry? Well, you got to ask the question: who makes money?
Right.
Yeah. There's no
Nobody.
money in it. Who's going to advocate for it?
Well, what
Nobody.
about these programs like Weight Watchers, or what are they proponing?
Well,
proposing
unfortunately,
proponents of?
a lot of those programs they count calories,
Right.
okay, or points.
Points and
But here's the problem with that.
measuring weight.
Do they work short term? Absolutely. I'm not going to argue against it. How about long term?
Right.
If you look at the national statistics, over 95% of the people who lose weight gain it back. Why is that? It's
Because if you don't gain it back, then you can't go back to them for more
Well,
help.
yeah.
For more help.
It's good for business, I guess.
It's sort of like, and it may sound a little cynical, but what would happen to the American Cancer Society if we suddenly found a cure for all cancers?
Right.
Yeah. Well,
What would they be doing? Where are they going to go for work?
Well, one of the things Stavros had told me when I started working with him was, if losing weight was enough of a motivation, that every time you lose weight, you would have kept it off.
Yeah.
That's why looking at the scale isn't that much of a, a measure, because you want to work on habits.
Exactly.
Because you have to develop
And then
habits.
the weight will take care of itself,
right.
I guess.
And the body goes where
Exactly.
it's
Matter
meant
of fact,
to go.
one of my favorite things I remember, I think I told you too. I don't know if I remember when you first came in, I told you that you don't have a weight problem.
Yeah,
Remember
right.
that?
It's a habit.
You don't have a weight
Yeah.
problem. Nobody has a weight problem. In fact, we have a habit problem.
Right.
Weight is only a side effect. If you look at the weight loss industry,
Right.
they focus too much on the symptom instead of focusing what is the cause.
Right.
And the cause is our bad habits. And the only way you're going to change habits is changing one at a time.
Right.
But the problem with changing one habit at a time, it's a slow approach.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear slow, everybody wants fast.
Right.
Yeah.
But the fact is,
Get it done for me now.
Yeah, they want to go on vacation.
Here's 59. I'm going on vacation tomorrow. Can you cure all my ills
Yeah.
between now and then?
No, it's true.
and to me though, I always ask people, do you want fast results or do you want permanent results?
Right, exactly.
And besides, realistic about it, what is faster? A weight loss approach that will help you lose weight and keep it off for life, or a weight loss approach that you have to keep losing the same weight over and over every year? It might
Right.
take you an extra 2 months to
Right.
lose the weight, right? Because remember, even with you, right? It might take you 1 habit, 2 habits,
Right.
3 habits before you start losing weight. But once you start losing weight,
Right.
it's a constant
Becomes
weight loss
becomes more permanent.
because you change the behaviors that got you overweight.
Right.
And that's something that seems like down in the weight loss industry, they say, oh, they don't get it, or they don't want to get it.
Right.
I don't understand it. Because the fact is, the only way you're going to change habits is slow and one at a time. And the only way you can achieve sustainable weight loss is to change the habits that got you overweight. There's no other way.
And another thing too, part of the program with eating is working out
Yes,
a little
of
bit.
course, yeah.
And I know in the past when I'd worked with trainers, I would work really hard and I would always end up hurting myself and getting burned out, and then I couldn't work out anymore and I'd give up because I wasn't losing weight. And I'd think, I'm working out so hard,
Yeah.
I'm running, I hurt my knee, and I'd have to stop. But I wasn't working on the eating at all. And then I would give up. And with Stavros, he always says, work out until you could always continue working out.
Yeah, my rule is that you should always stop working out at a point you still want to do more.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I always tell you, I think I told you that too when you first came in, that the first goal of an exercise program is not the results you want. The first goal of an exercise program should be to develop the habit of exercising.
Yeah.
Once you develop the habit of exercising, that's when you push to get the results that you want.
Right.
And that takes a little time how do you develop habits? Repetition.
Right.
So just the same way as you should stop eating before you're completely filled, you should stop exercising before you're completely satisfied that you've exercised enough. Save a little for tomorrow.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly. Because if, let's say, you worked out so hard, right?
Yeah.
And by the end of it, you say, oh, thank God this is over.
Yeah.
Which happens to most people.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to the next workout?
No.
Heck no.
To torture. It's like looking forward to being put on the rack and tortured.
And I have clients come to me who've started working out, and they're like, oh, I'm in so much pain, I could barely walk up your stairs. And I thought, then you're not going to want to work out again.
What kind of goal? Yeah, exactly. What kind of goal? What kind of goal is that? Do I want to do something that's gonna make me not be able to walk upstairs?
But I think it's that no pain, no gain mentality.
Unfortunately, because the other problem that we have with the fitness industry is that, let's think about it. Who becomes a personal trainer?
Right.
People who love exercising. People that they love that feeling of not being able to go up the stairs. And by the way, if that's what you like, I have nothing against it.
Right.
But the problem is they're trying to apply the same mentality to people who do not love exercising. And by the way, I don't love exercising.
Right.
I didn't get into the industry because I love exercising. I got into the industry because I realized fitness professionals do not understand me. And I said, if they don't understand me, they don't understand pretty much most of the population.
Right.
And that is one of the reasons why so many people cannot stick to an exercise program, because the exercise programs are designed by people who love exercising, and they think that once people see results, they'll be so motivated they want to keep going back.
Right.
Well, my question is, and we asked the question before, is if results were enough to keep somebody motivated, then how come the vast majority of people who lose weight gain it back?
Yeah.
Shouldn't, if they lost weight, shouldn't they be motivated to keep going? Well, the fact is...
Yeah, apparently not.
No, because the best results in the world will not keep anyone motivated if the results were achieved through a method that overwhelms you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is, by the workouts, if you always finish your workout at a point you still want to do more, well, guess what? You look forward to the next workout.
Exactly.
And then as you intensify each workout slowly, because you adapt, it doesn't seem that hard. I mean, with you, Emily, if we went back and we did what you started with, you'd be like, this is nothing.
Right. I know. It almost doesn't seem as if it's changed at all.
But if you look at your record, you see all your weights, everything has gotten up. But because it's a gradual process, and because it becomes habitual, you're not that aware of how much stronger you are.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, a lot of my clients tell me, don't realize how much stronger they get. I had one client, he started with me, I think it was in September. And he's strength training all winter. And in the springtime, he does a lot of yard work. So he has this 50-pound bags he has to lift.
Right.
And he goes to me, the first time I grabbed it, I went to lift it and I fell backwards because it was so light. Wow. I didn't realize how much stronger I was. And every year it was so heavy to lift the bag up. And he goes, it threw me off.
Wow.
And that's how sometimes you can tell with my system that you have actually stronger, is when you do familiar things and you expect them to be so much heavier, but they're actually not.
Right. Yeah. That's so interesting. Now, even as a massage therapist, I feel that my work too, it's I'm able to do my job even better.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue, I think that you probably seen with your friends, is getting over the idea that what I'm going to do instead of eating all day long.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that a lot of my, I think you solved it, I've solved it, and a lot of my clients. To me, if you have the will, there is a way. Mm-hmm. And to me,
Right.
what would give you more enjoyment? Eating all day long or having a lean and healthy body?
Right.
Would you get more enjoyment out of the cookie? And again, nothing against having cookies, you know me.
Right.
On the weekends, I
Right.
relax. I believe in 80-20. I don't always eat out of hunger. There's days I eat just because I want to eat. But that's the exception. Monday to Friday, my rules is I eat perfect. On the weekends, I want to have a devil dog. I have a devil dog.
Right.
I want to have ice cream. I have ice cream. Actually, I had ice cream yesterday.
Right.
With it's vicinada. It's a Greek syrup with sour cherries. Really good.
Oh.
But and I enjoy it guilt free though.
Right. Exactly.
Because that's the exception.
Oh, that's another thing I want to talk about. They say that if you feel guilty about what you're eating, they talked about this in that movie with the bleep, but your body actually releases hormones
Yes.
that will actually turn the food into fat, or it actually makes the food bad just based on the hormones released from your shame and guilt, the bad thoughts associated
Yes,
with eating it.
with eating, yes.
Where if you were just relaxed and chill and enjoyed it, it would be
Even-
digested,
Yeah,
so.
because remember the stress that compromises digestion.
Exactly.
So in the way,
Yeah.
you make the food even worse.
Yeah, it's the stress.
And I always
Yeah.
tell people, when we work on, because there's 7 eating habits I teach all together, but we teach them one at a time. But when we get to the habit of junk food,
Right.
okay, I always tell people, if, let's be realistic here. Junk food tastes way too good to give up. Okay?
Right.
And we're not going to give it up. I'm not going to give it up. But my rule is make it special. So let's have junk food on the weekend. Let's have junk food
Right.
on special occasion. But let me ask you a question. Let's say, I don't know, Dave, what's your favorite junk food? Or you have a list? You have to think about which one.
I don't know.
Donuts, chocolate, cakes.
Sweet or savory.
Either chocolate or ice
Okay,
cream.
ice cream. Let's say ice cream.
Yeah.
Now, if let's say I told you, David, no more ice cream for you.
Right.
Why is the change of that happening? Right? Slim to none. On the other hand, though, if I told you, David, you can have all the ice cream you want on the weekend. All you have to do is control yourself during the weekend. Let's say you had a craving on Thursday.
Yeah.
Isn't it easier to resist knowing all I have to do is wait till the weekend I can have it guilt-free?
You can
Yeah.
count the hours down if you really
Yes.
want to,
Yeah.
or just forget about it and
Yeah.
let time take care of itself.
And most of the time you forget about it, actually. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden,
Right.
I remember myself when I gave up soda.
Uh-huh.
My first attempt failed miserably.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Because I would say, no more soda today, because I used to drink soda all the time, by the way.
Right, right.
And it was very hard for me to give it up because there was no consequences of drinking soda because I was thin, I looked fine,
Right.
but I realized sooner or later it's going to catch up with me.
Right,
So the
right.
first attempt was I did what everybody else does. No more soda.
Right.
I failed miserably.
Yeah.
But then I realized that after a lot of research that better off doing what I just described, that just cut it down during the week, and the weekend have it. So first week I did well. The weekend I had tons of soda. Second week, Monday to Friday, I did not have any soda.
Right.
Oh, by the way, I forgot, I did put a bounty on myself. I told my family, whoever sees me drinking soda during the week, I have to give you $20. So anyway, so it helped me control myself.
Yeah.
Second weekend, I had soda. The third weekend, I forgot. Monday comes around, I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't have my soda.
Yeah.
Now, I drink soda once or twice a month. I enjoy it,
Right. Yeah.
but it's no longer this
Right.
this crazy craving. And by the way, I keep soda in my house. I
Yeah.
keep devil dogs in my house. All this, my favorite junk food, it's in my house.
Yeah.
I learned to control me. And it's something that everybody can do. I'm not special.
Right.
It's not like I have some superhuman power that I can control myself. It's a learned behavior. And that's what my system, actually I'm working on the new system right now. A program's coming out sometime in September. I'm calling it Live Thin, Stay Thin, because it's about lifestyle change.
Right. And another thing I remember you saying at the beginning was that, you start out being so hungry, and then you start eating less, and you said that your body actually starts using your fat for energy.
Yes.
And that's why you're not hungry. And then as you lose weight, then you can start to eat more for energy or
Yeah, because
something.
basically because you have a lot of reserves. Because what is fat? Fat
Right.
is reserves.
Right.
Energy reserves.
Serves a purpose,
Exactly.
Sometimes back in the day, sometimes people would not be able to eat for
Right.
a
days.
long period of time.
Exactly, and
You
that's
see that elsewhere in the animal kingdom, where animals aren't able
Right.
to eat for a long period of time.
Bears.
Winter, they have to hibernate,
Hibernation.
and they live off their stored fat.
so we're built to be able to live off our fat.
Right.
And some reserves, by the way, are important to have because there are a lot of fitness professionals that are actually they have an unhealthy low body fat.
Right.
Let's not go to the other extreme.
Right.
You know, to me, some fat on your body is
Right.
actually a good thing. It's not a terrible thing to have some fat on you.
Right, right.
But what happens is, with prolonged periods without food, the body becomes more efficient using fat. So what's going to happen is, you're going to find for a while, until you lose all the reserves that your body wants to
Right.
lose, you're going to have very low hunger.
Right.
And it's fine. And then once you lose all the fat that you need to lose, where the body gets comfortable, you
Right.
can see your hunger goes up.
Yeah.
You can eat more, that's fine.
Right.
Because now you have to provide all the energy
Right.
instead of
Yeah.
you have to provide some energy, and some of it comes from the reserves that you have.
Yeah, and I also wanted to touch upon, we were talking about how everything is low fat, how Greek
Yeah.
yogurt is hard to find full fat. Greek yogurt,
Yeah.
everything's low fat. And I was reading some study where they said that there's a possible link between low fat dairy and infertility. But because you were saying that everyone needs a little bit of fat.
Yeah,
you know?
well, again, you went back to wanting to blame the fat for us getting overweight.
Right,
The
yes.
fact is, if we had learned to pay attention to our bodies,
Right,
we have to
yeah.
worry about fat, because in Greece,
Exactly.
there was no such thing as low fat
Right,
anything.
yeah.
And yet, people were thin. Now, by the way, unfortunately, people don't eat the way we used to. Now we have all those low fat products,
Right.
but we're the most overweight we've ever been.
Yeah.
And our health actually has deteriorated
Yeah.
greatly.
That sounds like it almost parallels the discussion about soda and diet soda, where diet soda, people will switch to diet soda to for fewer calories.
And
And
diabetics,
by drinking diet soda, they don't have they don't get the satisfaction from drinking the diet soda that they get from regular soda, and that forces them to drink more to achieve the same level of satisfaction, and so it completely undermines the purpose of drinking diet soda.
Well, the diet soda thing too, the problem is that what studies have shown is it increases cravings. And that's one of the problems. I always tell my clients, if you're going to drink soda, drink the real thing.
Right, yeah.
You know, because besides the fact that it increases cravings, we don't even truly know what those chemicals are doing to our body.
Exactly.
So let's go with
Aspartame,
sugar.
yeah.
Let's go with sugar. We know the effects.
Yeah, it's
And-
a known
Right.
substance.
Yeah.
It's what it does to us is fairly predictable.
Yeah, I think they've shown that it causes cancer in lab rats, and the only way they are even allowed, the FDA allows it to be sold on the supermarket shelves, is because they don't call it food. They call it like a food additive, like it's some loophole.
So they get
but
away
it's
with
poison.
That's
with selling.
unfortunate.
Yeah,
It's
by
unfortunate.
some loophole they allow this. But I think you're right. We should just go for the full fat, full sugar, full.
Just in
the
moderation.
natural, and
Everything,
yeah.
that's the thing, everything in moderation. To me, we need to go back to basics.
Yeah.
Let's learn to eat out of hunger.
Right.
Most of the time. Let's learn to eat slow and mindful. Enjoy your food.
Right, exactly.
And by the way, I always tell people you can get more enjoyment out of food by eating slow and mindful. And then let's stop eating when satisfying your hunger. Forget counting calories.
Right.
Because counting calories, it's unrealistic. How long can you do that for?
Right, and
A
measuring
week?
and weighing.
It's such a
and,
drag.
Yeah.
It is.
Having to weigh yourself
Yeah.
2-3 times a day, and
What you're gonna
all that
eat, the
stuff.
portions.
Yeah,
You become
tell-
more focused on
Yes.
you become more focused on
Yeah.
eating than
Yeah,
you really need to
exactly.
be.
And cutting out food group,
Yep.
entire food groups. I don't agree with that.
And
either.
I think that the one thing I'm very proud of is that with my system, people don't just lose the weight, but are able to keep it off.
Right.
Even after they have left, because that's the bottom line is,
Yeah.
what are you
Right.
trying to lose weight?
Yeah.
Just to go to the wedding?
Right.
Or do you want to keep the weight off for the rest of your
Right,
life?
Exactly.
And to me, that's why I got into the business, is to help people lose weight permanently, not
Right.
temporary. Temporary, by the way, is easy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's true. It's
And,
just,
and actually, I take that back. Is permanently is also easy too. It's just slower.
right.
And to me, it's like, again, I'd rather take an extra 2 or 3 months and do it right. We're not talking about extra years here, we're talking about extra months and do it right than rushing through so I can lose weight fast so I can look good for the wedding or for my bikini in the summertime. I don't wear bikinis, by the way, okay? Not me.
Point.
Yeah.
No, but
Point well taken.
but you'd be surprised at how
Point
many.
well taken. This is not like a news show
Yeah.
where everybody's dressed from the waist up and from the waist down. We're all stark raving, lunatic
Yeah.
naked.
But you'd be surprised at how hard people defend their habits.
Yes.
I mean, I know people say, well, I can't eat, that way. They're just.
I have to eat
so,
every 3 hours. I have
yeah.
to eat. Which I can understand. The habits are hard to break. No
Right.
question about it. And that's why I think is you have to slowly change them.
Yeah.
And that's, of course, with each individual, it's a little bit different. But
Right.
I truly, truly believe everybody can change if they choose to.
Right.
If they have the will and if the desire, everybody can change.
If they have to believe it's possible.
And then if you don't, it's not because you can't. It's because you decided not to.
Right.
Well, yeah, because that's the other thing I got in the past few years now. I talk a lot about having the right mindset for change.
Right.
Because just having the solution to a problem is not going to help you if you can't apply the solution. And in order to apply the solution, especially this kind of solution, you have to have the right mindset.
Yeah.
And that's the next thing that people need to focus on. But that's another conversation for another day about having the right mindset.
Yeah, and I just think too. Again, this is all about your beliefs, and it's just believing that it's possible too.
Yep.
You have to believe it's possible.
And
That you can change.
well, I'm going to leave you with Henry Ford's quote.
Oh.
Actually, I want to run back before you get to Henry Ford. I want to go back to the, you've related a story, Emily, that rings so true, I'm sure, with a lot of people that have made changes in their lives, whether it be to choices to get healthier, to lose weight, to do this, that, or the other. People around you, sometimes even unknowingly, even without tend to undermine.
Yeah.
Undermine. If they see you losing weight, it's, oh my God, she's losing weight.
Yeah.
We better buy her a big gigantic chocolate cake to help her to reward
take care of the problem.
To undermine her attempt to lose weight.
I don't think it's a conscious thing.
No, I don't think so either. But it's interesting.
Yeah, but it's interesting how people all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But
Henry Ford.
Oh, Henry Ford's quote: "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right."
Yep.
And I'm a true believer in that. It's what you believe that you can achieve, that you will achieve.
Yeah.
So to me, belief is the number one thing.
Yep. What man can believe?
And with that, all you folks could go back. We've been through 15 hours of the 16 hours. That's pretty close.
Close enough.
You want to wait another hour, that's fine. Otherwise, manja.
Okay.
That's right.
Have a little something to eat and find a pattern that works for you. Learn the lessons. Take these lessons with you that you've learned. Put them to use. And we'll see you next Friday night. And you might have lost a couple ounces. Don't worry about it, because a couple ounces at a time is great.
Thanks for joining us.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Take some soup. Good night. Good afternoon.
Bye.